Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful idea. What if you could change your entire life just by changing, well, one thing, the way you think? It all kicks off with this simple but huge decision to act like you just can't fail.
So let me just ask you this straight up. What would you do differently if you just knew, deep down, that no matter what, you'd figure it out? What if failure just wasn't something you even worried about? Seriously, hold on to that question, because it is the key to, well, pretty much everything we're about to get into.
All right, so let's get into it. Before we can start building this awesome new mindset, we kind of have to face the music, right? We've got to get real about the mindset that's probably calling the shots for most of us right now.
So what you're looking at here is a really fundamental difference. It basically breaks down into two kinds of minds. You've got the untrained mind. That's kind of our default setting, right? It just reacts to whatever life throws at it. But then you have the trained mind, and that's a whole different ballgame. It doesn't just react, it thinks on purpose. It actually creates its reality.
And this is what that untrained mind looks like when it's in the driver's seat. The source material calls it the slow way. And does any of this ring a bell? You know, holding back on those big ideas, making these tiny, super safe plans so you don't get disappointed, waiting for someone else, anyone else, to give you the green light. Look, this way of thinking, it's designed to keep you safe, for sure. But the flip side is, it also keeps you completely stuck.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, it's a deliberate, conscious shift in how you think. It's about making a move to a mindset that's actually working for your goals, not one that's just feeding your fears.
And boom, here it is. This is the heart of the whole thing. And listen, this isn't about being reckless or pretending problems don't exist. Not at all. It's more like a mental posture. It's about walking into every single task with this deep underlying assumption that you will see it through. Period.
So what this really boils down to is this. The unfailing mindset is just a deep belief in your own resourcefulness. It's trusting yourself. It's knowing that you can handle whatever challenges pop up along the way. And when you have that, man, it lets you move with this quiet confidence. And this is maybe the biggest part, it lets you finally stop overthinking everything and just start doing.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But how do we actually do it? Where do you even start? Well, step one is all about the internal game. It's about training your brain to finally work for you instead of against you.
This here is probably the most practical skill you can learn. It's called reframing. And just look at the shift. I failed becomes, this is just information. See that? A failure isn't a dead end anymore. It's just data. This is too hard becomes, this is a puzzle. It's not a wall, it's something to solve. It might seem like just a simple change in words, but it keeps you in a powerful, resourceful state instead of getting all discouraged. And this is how you actually practice that. It's a super simple two-step process. First, awareness. You just have to notice the thought that's pulling you down or holding you back. Just see it. Then, step two is choice. You deliberately choose a stronger thought. Think about it. You might not control that first thought that pops into your head, but you always control the second one. Always.
Now, to make this stuff stick, you got to build your mindset on these three pillars. First up, belief. Just a core belief that you are capable and you can get better. Second, clarity. You need to know exactly where you're going, and yeah, that means writing your goals down. And third, repetition. You have to practice this stuff daily because your mind literally becomes what you tell it over and over and over again. All right, so once you've got that internal foundation solid, it's time for step two. Now, your actions have to match your new way of thinking. You've got to start behaving like the person you're planning to become.
And these are the three key actions. See a theme here? It's all about speed, ownership, and consistency. It means you stop waiting for the perfect moment and you just move. You stop blaming other people or circumstances and you take full control. And you stop letting your mood of the moment dictate your long-term success.
You know, I absolutely love this point. We tend to think of responsibility as this heavy, stressful burden, right? But it's actually the complete opposite. When you say, you know what, this is on me, what you're really saying is, I am the one with the power to change this. Blame, that makes you a victim. Responsibility, that makes you the creator. So, what happens when you put these two things together? When you combine that internal mindset shift with these new external actions, well, that's when things get really exciting. The results start to compound on themselves. This is the magic of momentum, right here.
That first small, confident action you take, it makes the next one a little bit easier. And that one makes the one after that even easier. Before you know it, these actions are stacking up, building on each other, until you feel genuinely unstoppable. And it all goes back to that very first step you took, believing you couldn't lose.
And this kind of brings us full circle, doesn't it? Just look at the difference here. You have the exact same external event. Let's say it's criticism or a failure. But for these two mindsets, it produces a completely different internal response and a totally different outcome. The untrained mind gets hurt. It wants to quit. But the trained mind, it sees every single challenge not as a threat, but as a chance to learn, to adjust, and to get stronger.
So the big takeaway here is that this is so much more than just positive thinking. It's about taking deliberate, active control of the one thing in this world you truly own, your mind. Because when you master your thoughts, you really do become the creator of your own life. You stop just reacting to what the future might bring, and you start building it on purpose.
And let's wrap up with this final, really powerful idea. Stop waiting around for the world to give you some kind of guarantee that you'll succeed. Stop looking for permission from somebody else or for that one perfect plan. With this mindset, you don't need an external guarantee because you are the guarantee. Your commitment, your resilience, your unwavering belief that you will figure it out, that is the only thing that truly matters. Because the person who always finishes, well, they always win.